sir. Yes, sir. Bring it in, family, guys. We got a one that's gonna be packed up with a little information day. I got a couple questions from some of our family members. One asking about my thoughts on AMD, Palantir, and then the crypto Dogecoin. And then also one of our long-time followers, one of my favorite followers, Jay Clark, asked the question. I think he saw a video from Malou from Wall Street. I haven't actually seen the video, but this is kind of something that I kind of understood as well, as far as how the shorts made 9 trillion shares and basically can use that to cover. Basically, we can kind of sum that up as well, kind of review the charts of what happened with AMC. Had a little pop, but like I said, don't want things to get too crazy. Want to have everybody understanding what's going on with things. And then we're going to kind of give a little answer hit all-time highs with NVIDIA, and I want to kind of give a correlation of what's going on with that just to wrap everything in. And then we got a clip at the end of y'all's president. Apparently some zesty information coming out between September 5th and October 31st. Highly incriminating information that somebody's coming out whistleblowing that's going to be released. So this is going to be some zesty stuff that's coming up. Things are getting crazy on both sides. We got the thing happening with the orange man. We got the thing happening with your president. Hey, let's see how it pops up. First, let's get down to a little clip with our favorite Charles Payne, who has having an interview. I think they're talking about the volatility that's coming in for those cash-oriented investors, people that are kind of using this stock market profit, which is what you should be using it for. So let's get down to it. But first, let's get a little intro action going on. All right, people. Let's get down to it. Yeah.
Our next guest has been telling clients to brace for continued volatility, at least in the short term, and for income-focused investors to embrace this recent increase in yields. Joining me now, Evans May Wealth managing partner Elizabeth Evans. Elizabeth, you say income-focused investors are going to get another bite at the apple. Does this mean you see yields going even higher?
Well, good afternoon, Charles. It's hard to see if we see yields going higher. I think what we have seen is a pop in yields. So to those clients who are looking to increase bond allocations, now's the time to lock in higher yields.
I got you. So you do study money flows, and what are you seeing now in the shift of money flows with respect to what investors should be looking at for the second half of the year?
Yeah, so I think that certainly we've seen, if you look at money flows, we've seen year to date a lot of money flow into money market funds, into fixed income. Really since June, we've seen somewhat of a reversal back into equity, mutual funds, and ETFs.
Guys, just remember, there was one man that was screaming the fact of that there is an over-leveraging in money in bonds. There's an under-leveraging in assets, which is going to happen. You still haven't seen the spike come off but they're doing it slowly. Big money is slowly moving in. These institutional investors are slowly buying in as to not spike you. But again, you've gotten all these alerts about the price going to 800 on NVIDIA, price targets of 1,500 on Tesla. Guys, do not be caught up in the short term. The greatest generational wealth transfer is occurring. That's why, again, like I said, we hit all-time highs in NVIDIA today. But let's keep the tap down it.
But we're still just really scratching the surface there. So, when you've got a 2-year treasury at 4.9%, we saw 5.2%, and not too long ago. That's real competition for the equity markets. So I think in the short term, we are bracing for volatility. I think you could see the market move lower before it moves higher. September is historically a bad month in the market, and October is historically a very volatile month in the market. So I think the setup in the short term is volatility is here. I think we still remain in a secular bull market over the
interesting
long term.
So
somebody's been screaming.
The occasional bump in the road that comes in a secular bull market sounds to me, if you're an investor, you stay long. If you're more of a trader, or if you're looking for income, you have alternatives. I do want to talk about a couple of ideas you like here. ETN and Schlumberger. Let's tell us. We don't have a lot of time, but if you can go to specifically why these names right now.
Yeah, so if you look at industrials, Eaton in particular should benefit from nearshoring and reshoring. If you look at the big 7 companies that have really led much of the market year to date, so much of that is as a result of AI. Eaton is electrical components and services provider. So you think data centers. Data centers we know require a tremendous amount of energy. That's going to bode well for Eaton. So they're trading at 28 times earnings, 1.5% dividend yield. And Charles,
So this is basically going to be a sympathy play of tech, AI, and things like that.
look at that chart. It's been a leader. I think that will continue.
Right.
Schlumberger, energy overall, energy's 12 times forward earnings compared to the market at 20 times. So we like energy. We think energy is cheap right now. Did well in August, historically does well in September. And we like owning the individual companies. We think SLB will do well.
I got 30 seconds. You crushed it this year in tech positions. I understand you've been saying, hey, take profits in most things,
like
but
you
you're
a little bit
holding
more.
on to Broadcom and NVIDIA. Broadcom's going to report. You still hold it into this earnings report, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think we like semis.
It's
We
that
like
dog.
mega cap tech. As we've talked, Charles, as positions grow exponentially, we
I don't like to toot my own horn, but toot. Somebody's been telling you, guys, it only makes sense. It's not like I'm a brain scientist. These are the companies of the future. I mean, it's just that simple. Tesla's the company of the future. NVIDIA has the corner of all the chips that is required for AI. The Tesla utilize. Tesla just went in and bought. They're reinvesting. Big money is buying into this. AI is here to stay. Same with cryptocurrency.
will trim them, take profits, and add to undervalued or underweight positions. I don't think it's NVIDIA or Broadcom. I think you own both. And if you're an income-focused investor, Avgo is at a cheaper multiple, has a 2% dividend yield. So I think it's one to own, but I think that's mega cap tech is one component of the total portfolio.
I got you. It's been one heck of a component, though. Hey, Elizabeth, congratulations.
It has.
All right,
Yes,
thanks a lot. Folks, we'll be right back.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like I said, guys, the greatest generational wealth transfer is underway. Let's double tap down and see if we can make this a quick one. I'm about to go to the gym and just do some total wreckage. I went crazy yesterday. Went nuts. Couple girls and a couple booties in there. Testosterone took over, about killed myself in there. Glad I did it. I'm doing back again. AMC, guys, we had a little pop up here, 16%, sitting around 1273. I want everybody to understand, don't get too crazy, because like I said, currently where this price is still somewhere around $1.50, just so people kind of see the scale of what that is. Pulling back out on the daily, y'all can see, and like I said, previously before, these matched up with where we were. You can obviously see by the amount of synthetics and apes they brought back in to show how many shares created. This should just be kind of like a thing. And Jay Clark, this kind of something that we'll teeter on to talk about. This is what was meant by there were that many ape shares. But as according to after a reverse split occurred, if we had these original amount of shares with the original run, then the price would have hit $400 as opposed to $70, which should tell you exactly how much suppression has actually been occurring in this play. I want people to kind of look at that, and I said I found that very interesting. What you're looking at now is them reversing what they've been doing the entire time. So now what you're looking at right now is the price point of what AMC should have peaked at, which was $400. That's how much money in synthetics they had to create to suppress it and stop it at 70 and push it back down for these last 3 years. It should have hit $400, which I'm sitting up here, I'm like, hey, they did a reverse split and brought it back to what it was supposed to have been, right? But of course, this just goes to show you, Ape was a creation. They created shares. The whole thing from when it was at $16 when they broke it off and called it a dividend, they were just utilizing that to create shares. And speaking to Jay Clark, the amount of shares they created on Ape, you got to understand, not only did they make profits, right, because of being able to short it, then buy the stocks down at $1 or so, right, which when you saw that inversion where it was like the thing where AMC dropped 40% and it seemed like Ape was popping, they almost met in the middle. Well, if you had 9 trillion shares and you divide that by what the split was what, 10 for 1? Well, then that means that they've created, what, 900 billion shares, right? And if it was 9 billion that they had created, then that would be 900 million shares, which we know is bigger than 900 million just on the simple fact that Adam Aaron alone has like 300 or 400 million shares ready to drop, which is something that I want everybody to be keynoted in and understand that they're going to do. And I'm going to, kind of bring that information to kind of provide so y'all can kind of see what I'm seeing from outside. There is going to be a rise or a movement in price here soon from what I'm looking at, right? But understand, shortly after that, they're going to chop the head off the snake and just dump, just literally dump. But the amount of apes they created was how much. You got to understand, they were shorting the float over and over and over in days and days and days and days and days and days. The float's 500 million. You got to think, if they trade the float twice or short the float twice, that's a billion shares right there alone. 99, if you did 99 of those, right, you got 99 billion. Right? So you can see how quickly that can go up. And obviously would it be in 365 days in a year, 365 days in a year, 365 days in a year continuously, and especially with us buying against. So it'd be different if it was just like there was no resistance. So you got to understand, they're having to create even above that 500 million float per day because people are buying. We were buying while they were shorting. So they were having a doo-doo-doo-doo. So you can understand how it could get to 9 trillion, which was I was like, it's a believable number. Like I said, I haven't actually watched the full video. I'm going to see if I stop by Lou's channel and see if I can find what video you're talking about, just so I can see what he was saying. But I could understand how that number get to 9 trillion or 900 billion easily, just off the simple fact of the explanation of what's going on or how they were suppressing the stock, guys. They had us in the algo. That's why the dark pool has been showing NA for the last 3 years, because they had showed how much percentage they were sitting to the dark pool in reality. It would have been a immediate indicator. Not to say SC would have stopped, but this just goes to show you how big of a play this was, and the fact that if they had stopped it, it would have crushed, markets, hedge funds, institutions, what's it called, treasury. Everything would have got smoked. Put it on through. Looking up here, they got 1.3 million shares sitting up here with a cost bar around 10.8%. Obviously, we have a drastic drop, but I just want to see, for y'all to see, even though the whole conversion has not even finished, how many shares they're popping up and they're easily able to pop up. What is it? I mean, we're looking at somewhere near 20 million shares right here alone, if not a little bit more, right? In this day alone, this is the 30th. And they're paying a cost bar fee around 10.9%. This kind of shows you how they're able to do this coverage thing, what the whole plan is of, right? So we saw them cut it. And like I said, guys, I take this as a learning opportunity so that you can never be tricked by something like this again. Had us at 16 real, cut it off, took a portion of our money with it, right? I still don't have an explanation for how we got a dividend that cost us share price, right? Then they shorted that down, which is where they made money from. Caught it back up, buying in, right? And then now that they when they shorted down, they bought millions upon billions of these apes to come back as a consolidation. So when they converted it back, they got an exchange for every 10 apes they had, they got a real AMC share. So now you're kind of seeing how they're able to do this whole coverage thing, and they're slowly going to do it. They're not going to allow the stock to just run. They're going to short and then slowly cover at the same time. So you get a pop, they're going to short. You get a pop, and this next pop, they're going to all buy in, and then they're going to dump and short back down. Hey, watch it. Like I said, I've been watching this thing for 3 years. AMC still sitting on a threshold securities list as of yesterday. Obviously, they'll report tomorrow to see if it's on the day. But this is that last key indicator I'm looking at on it is failed delivers. And that's when you're going to know that things have gotten a little sideways. And Jay Clark, with your thing, you were kind of like, so this means that the MOAS is screwed. Yeah. The MOAS is most definitely screwed, which is why this, in fact, I'm at the point of where I'm riding this play in and out. I'm looking for that movement up, poof, out. Whatever they short it down to, ride it back, because there's going to be volatility in this stock, guys. There's money to be made. I'm going to show you one of these plays that I'm trading, how volatility can swing, especially if you're going in and out of it, how you can recapitulate your money. But if your plan is to just hold this, not to stop you, not financial advice, not saying you're wrong, I just want you to have full expectation of what's coming. There is 400+ million shares looming over the top of any run that we have, any significant run. And you've already seen if AA was dumping the stock at 10, 11, 12 after the reverse split. I mean, before the reverse split, right, when they made 8, you can imagine what he's going to do afterwards, right, guys? And he's made that apparent fully clear when he says, oh, yeah, we need a cash position. Think about how great that is. I'm sort of thinking, yeah, I know, it would be good to be sitting on the cash position from you guys to us. We would definitely be here for a lot longer, right? And it would have been a lot better for time. But pulling on through, guys, Short interest dropped all the way down to a 13.35. Free floats at 20.15, which is showing around 30 million shares on loan. A drop from that 202 that we were sitting at. Utilization is still sitting up a little bit higher, around 84%. Cost to borrow is at cost of borrow is at 17.52, with days of cover rising a little bit from that 3 to 5.24. Still not anything significant. I know people are like, the numbers are going up. Yeah, but that's because they're in the midst right now of doing the most massive fraud that's occurred in the stock market. This is a cleanup operation. Pulling on through. This is what's tying in, and this came from Stock Goodies. Look at all these fours, all buys. Insiders bought millions of shares, not expecting anything but good news. I, on the opposite side, am looking at this and saying, okay, this is them buying in because they're getting ready for that pop that's going to happen. Then they're going to dump the thing to sleep. So insiders are going to make money. People are going to make money. They're going to sell. So like I said, this was one of those key indicators that kind of let me know. I was like, okay, this is not really looking too good. I know that some people are kind of like, oh yeah, this is a great thing. No, a great thing would have been them buying pre-reverse split, right? If it was going to be great news. They're buying after the reverse split for a run up, right? And again, y'all got to understand, a run up to $50 now would be like a equivalent of run up to like, what would we say? Like, maybe like $30? Or no. A run up of $50 now. Let me see how I'm going to phrase this. It running to $50 now would be, prior to the reverse split, it running up to like $20, $25. Maybe like when we had that BBY and us were running up to $30 on that squeeze. That's what 50, and realistically, maybe like 50, 60, 70 at this point. Because if the reverse split is showing 70 before as 400 now, you can kind of see what the comparables are. AMC at the current point is sitting around about $2 prior to this reverse split, right? Just, things to keep in mind so people understand when we see these little pops 16%, you're looking at the stock at below $3. This is AMC below $3 before they brought that 8 conversion. So you got to keep that in mind where you're looking at it. But if you're coming out of the play and then buying back in on it, now you can kind of look at these gains differently, because a movement to $50, $70, $80, right, will actually still bring you some of those returns back depending on how much you put in there. I don't know. I can't say that number. Like I said, that's for each person to determine what it is that you're trying to do, encapsulate. Like I said, you just want to be understanding that you know that you're playing with the devil, and the devil being AA. So like that's always got to be in the back of your head. Keep that over the top line. Pulling on through, guys. And this is just show everybody how every single day there's money being made. This is another play I jumped in yesterday around 270. Sold at 6, re-entered in today around 780. Popped up. I sold off at 25, still kept some shares. But we just had a pop at after hours of 41. These IPO plays, this is why I say, guys, understand that we're going to be bringing that money back and making the money back. That's not a problem. That's not a question. And understand, though, those that are going to be involved in these type of plays, that whole buy and hold thing, you've got to let go. Because if you bring that over here, you're going to end up on the bad side of it. You got to understand, short squeezes are happening every single day. It wasn't AA or AMC that made the short squeeze. It was retail. Like I said, the retail saga, the momentum I say the retail saga is just beginning. It's retail that makes the short squeeze. The short squeeze didn't make retail. Understand that, and we do this every single day. I want y'all to wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock, go to your top gainers and watch them. And go, if you have Webull, and if you don't, click the link in the description, go get us some free shares, go get your Webull. But go in the feeds and go look at how many retail investors in there and how we're coordinating, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you should be played. And the reason these pops can happen is because, again, it's not like a thing. These people know, market makers know, hey, these people are not going to stay for a long time. They're here for a good time. They're having to go get these shares. Shorts are having to cover. Pops are happening. Look, 12 it closes. It hit $12. Climbs up. This right here, this movement of 100% from 30 to 41 happened in about 5 minutes. I went to the bathroom, came back, and missed that portion. But again, I was in at $7. Y'all can see we're up 17%. Stock was up 300% yesterday. These are squeezes. These are squeezes. You understand? These are happening each and every single day, each and every single morning. That's why I'm just trying to tell everybody. Get your cash, prepare yourself. Money's going to be made, but what I need the family to do at this point, are those that are still holding into your AMC as in like a diamond hand thing, to just give it some consideration of what your plan is, what your exit is. And like I said, not telling you buy, hold, or sell, but I'm going to keep it $1.50 with you always. Sliding on through, NVIDIA hits all-time, what was it? NVIDIA just hit record highs, but stock may still be cheap, says analysts, guys. Like I said, y'all got to understand, they said NVIDIA's got a price target sitting up at $800, guys. We hit, I think, this is kind of a little bit off. We actually hit around, I think, like 502, 503, 504. But like I said, peaking at all-time highs, we're sitting right up on that level, and I'm going to tell you exactly why that occurred and why we're getting pumps in all these stocks. And this is why I say, a family member that asked about AMD, Palantir, AMD and Palantir, great plays. Those are going to be smaller level plays compared to the big mega caps. Of course, the big mega caps cost more. You're going to get a little bit more surety on those. But AMD is in that not a processor, but what's the word I'm looking for here? AMD, Intel. So you got NVIDIA that makes the chips, and then you got AMD and Intel that are kind of going to be the what is it? Programmers. These are the programming of the chips, right? So these plays are going to be massive sympathies in NVIDIA. So from my opinion, yes, AMD, Intel, those are Palantir. Those are all going to be plays that are going to move up. And like I said, it's not about saying, oh, I want this to keep out of NVIDIA. It's about through this headwinds that are coming and through this generational wealth transfer, you want your money to keep growing. These are companies of the future. Doge, keeping it $1.50 with you, Doge is a meme coin. I'm XRP, XLM, HBAR, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Those are my, if I were to recommend something for you to go in and buy and hold, that's what I say. Now, as far as if you're trading these, if you're going to be in and out, because like I said, I got in the Doge, held too long, still made profits, but I got in Doge at 5 cents. That day it hit 70 cents. We were on TV. They're like, Elon's going to talk about it. And they just rug pulled us and it fell back down. Had I been trading Doge and just selling in and out of it, that would have been a more profitable trade. I still made profit of it, but that also was a teaching lesson. Same with how the stock market is, that Doge is a trade. That's a meme stock. That's like Pepe coin. That's Shiba Inu. That's, these are not the same as a stable coin. These don't have a utility. So keep that in mind. But like I said, as far as if I think that on this next crypto cycle, if it's going to make money, oh yeah. But you just got to understand it's a cycle that goes to it. Let's see, putting on through. JOLTS report, reason that NVIDIA, Tesla, and everything is moving up. They had the JOLTS report is showing that the jobs, and we're right here, the jobs report shows declines in openings and hires and quits and increase in layoffs in 4 SD event, which basically means there are less open jobs, more people getting jobs, and then there's less availability of them, which is something that you want in the economy. That's showing that the inflation is going to be brought down, and it's also showing that more people are getting their butt back to work, and then there's more of a scarcity to jobs. So people are going to be, hey, can you want that back? That's what fuels GDP. That's what fuels an economy, and that's why that's so important. But like I said, it is happening the grand total 4% of the time the past, and just 2% when the economy was not a recession state. So maybe it is. PCI should come in lower as expected to. So that cued off everything. And that's why I say, guys, that sell-off with NVIDIA, Tesla, when it hit those highs, was not a fundamental sell-off. Nothing with the company. That was technical. That's what's going on in the atmosphere, right? So you got to understand, when you get those opportunities, that's a buy. That's why I say that was dollar cost average city when NVIDIA came back down to 430 and Tesla was down at 215, 220 again. I was like, hey, low, that's the time to buy, because now here we are riding back up again, up towards those all-time highs again. Tesla looking well as well. Portfolio doing it with Tootsie, especially like I said, as I've been hitting those day trades. I had my long terms going crazy, and then like I said, I've been going crazy on this as well. And like I said, on that portfolio that I hold, that I swing trade through, which is my Weeble. I have a couple of swing trading portfolios, but primarily I like to use Weeble as well. There's a pattern day trading rule, so I have one more day trade left in, and I might enter in. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend y'all come here. You're gonna see the stocks up 500%, but I see legs still on the stock, and I'm like I said, the time isn't now, but I'm going to be bringing plays to the channel for y'all to make y'all's money. But like I said, y'all have got to follow those cues and understand what's going on. If you haven't kind of learned how to read charts, it's not really too imperative, but I would recommend setting up your things like your 1448 and using your VWAP to understand if a stock's doing well, right? This holding above VWAP, just a quick little summary. This holding above VWAP is showing support that there's still legs on the stock. The way that I look at this 1448, and I forgot who that was that kind of brought this in. That was a while back, but I've always used that trade terminology. When those crosses coming down, when they inverted or going opposite, that 14's above the 48, then you're gonna have a rise in the stock, right? So looking at long term and things like that. If you go on the 1 hour, well, this is a little bit too far out. And like I said, this is a merger play, right? So news, IPOs, mergers, those are where you get a squeeze. And then it's also shorts can't short the stock for the first 30 days. So it's really, but you gotta get in there when the retail, when what we would call the apes, when people are like, oh yeah, I didn't hit it. Let's move to something new, because it's like a quick thing. It's a quick turnover. It might be 5-day run, 4-day run, 2-day run, 1-day run. You got to know what it is that you want to hit. You got to not be greedy and then get out of that thing. Let's pull on through, and like I said, crazy information coming in here. Let's get this little clip. I'm going to end it out. Breaking news: host Greg Kelly reveals secret audio tape of Joe Biden directly incriminating himself in bribery. There's an incontrovertible evidence of Joe Biden's corruption that's about to be made public.
Yet there is an audio tape, I am told, by
fair use
people in the know. Not necessarily in government, not necessarily out of government. I can't say too much, but there is incontrovertible evidence of Joe Biden's corruption that is about to be made public. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen before Labor Day, but it will happen sometime between Labor Day and Halloween. This tape will
These are the dates. Guys, it's getting
be made
intense.
public. I'm not sure by what entity at this point, but once it is heard, Joe Biden will have, well, he'll have only two options. Number one, he will not be able to remain a candidate for the presidency for re-election. It will be over and done with. The only thing that he might be able to do, potentially, but probably not, is remain as president. I am told this tape is that incriminating, and they're worried about it right now at the White House. They know about it. They know it's out there. There may be more than one, and it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, guys, things are getting zesty, guys. Things are getting crazy. We're pulling up into that political thing, that campaign, all this stuff that's going on. Got the thing going on with the orange man. I don't necessarily agree with. Obviously, it just looks kind of very fishy that they would drop all this stuff right before, the primary time for doing your campaigning and things like that. But like I said, somebody's coming back and fighting with the Piper. So like I said, guys, we're going to stay tuned. Like I said, we're going to bring that information. But guys, listen, much love, y'all boys. Y'all know I love you. Y'all hold it down. Hey, hopefully you enjoyed the information. Appreciate y'all for making the dream come true. But like I said, guys, it's one trade that can change your wife, change your life. It put big body thoughts on your big body yacht. All right, let's rephrase big body thoughts. I don't know if that sounds big booty thoughts on your big body yacht. Oh yeah, hey yeah, I like that a little bit more. Hey, y'all boys holding down. You already know what's next, don't you? Oh yes, I'm about to go crazy in the gym. But first, DJ B Money, drop that trizzard. Yes, sir.